Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's 12:25 p.m. on a Monday, the 31st of March, 2025. So many people showed up last night for the our pre-release show off of Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. Thank you, one and all. Big tip of the hat again to Craig Harris, Matt McKeever, um, the designers of the game, developers of the game, and also to Paul Fay, who is the beta tester. Um, I guess in all my excitement and everything, there were a few things I think that I didn't make clear about it, and so I want to talk about it again and reiterate a few things from last night. We already sort of took partially a grand tour, so maybe the best way to talk about this is to approach it differently, in the respect that everybody that comes together in this baseball family that we have. Hey, Samuel, great to see you. Everybody comes together here in our community. And when I'm talking about the community, yeah, early matinee, how about it, Samuel? And I don't mean in this case the larger YouTube gaming community, but I mean the community that we've created specifically in this eco space, Beatles eternally. All right. So what usually happens in that eco space, besides kind of train wrecks and a lot of ADD and shiny things, Rube Waddell syndrome, is the fact that I've never played cards and dice baseball on this channel, um, and it's probably going to be a while before I do. Not because I don't love cards and dice baseball. I simply, as you guys know, I don't have the room to do it. Or I would be splitting time. So I think that a lot of people that come into this eco space ecosystem. Um, and I think maybe this is my fault in the way that I've been presenting Pocket Pennant Run as a digital baseball game. It's it is, but it's also a cards and dice game. In fact, it's primarily a cards and dice game. I refer to it as a hybrid, but maybe this requires a paradigm shift for people to understand. And believe me, when I say this, I want to preface my remarks by I'm not assuming stupidity or ignorance or anything like that on anybody. It's not. This falls on me for not being clear. So let's think about this as a cards and dice game. All right? That just happens to be something you can also play as a cards and dice game on your computer. All right. So I had some really good positive feedback, both from Craig and from Paul. And I was also watching the comments last night, and one that hit me was from RGO Network saying, "What? No fall classic baseball, no inside pitch." So why I wish I had prearranged with somebody to have a dice game that they were rolling up and giving me the results so I could plug them in was to demonstrate that. I don't have Strat or Appa or any of those games sitting around. So that's why I just had to sort of like, okay, pretend I'm rolling the dice. So I'm going to try to coordinate with somebody who plays cards and dice. If I can get one of you guys on here, if it's Tim seems the cards and dice guy that's not afraid to come on mic. Maybe we'll do a stream some night where we're using Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. I'll have Tim roll up Strat. You'll be able to hear him on the mic. He gives me the card result. We figure out how to do that, and I plug it in and show everybody how it works. Okay. So what I want to make clear is just like in Digital Diamond Baseball, you can play with any baseball board game. What I could do is maybe try something using time travel baseball or back to basics baseball, some of those smaller cards and dice games that I can do on a computer to kind of show you guys. Digital Diamond Baseball, um, in a lot of ways, it as its heart is a cards and dice game that was translated to PC. PC Replay Baseball is a cards and dice game that was translated to PC. Inside Pitch was has a PC version, but it's a cards and dice game. That's what this is. So if you have fall classic baseball, and if you look at all the plays that are possible, in fact, let's just do that as an illustrative exercise. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pick a random game in history. All right, just any old random game. Doesn't I don't even care who the teams are. I guess as long as I kind of know. And something a little bit more modern for you guys. So not 1926, not 1939. There, 2021. Well, no. Let's try to find something maybe in the 70s. I'm clicking here through the AI coach just to find something that's going to be more identifiable because most of the folks here are not into dead ball baseball. All right, so here, 1988. This will work. All right. So let's look at the, I don't know, the Cubs and Cardinals. Why not? This was a good game, 5-1. Well, there's a 1-0 game, Indians and White Sox, but I'm a National Leaguer. Cubs and Cardinals, let's do it. Let's look at some things. So this was a game that took place on May 19th, 1988. Score was 5-1. Cardinals beat the Cubbies. All right. And I've gone into pretty good depth again, so we're not gonna worry about what all this means. All right. We're just gonna jump right into the game. And we're gonna treat this just like a cards and dice game. All right. And for now, I'm going to put it on Pocket Pennant Run Advanced. All right. Now, when we play cards and dice baseball, what do we do? Hey, Sean, when we play cards and dice baseball, we have our score sheet out. All right. We do. We create a score sheet. Well, there it is. Okay. So there it is. So the thought exercise is, all right, that this is no different than a score sheet pad that I've ripped out, taken off a pad, and I've written these lineups. All right, so these are the exact lineups used on that day. All right, because of this software, I don't have to go in to Baseball Reference and handwrite everything. It's there for me. Okay, so that's part of thought experiment number one. Okay, now using this software, you could just right here send this to your printer, and you've saved work, and you could still play any game, even with this score sheet. I mean, you can ignore these ratings. So you could play a game of Strat. You could play a game of APA, Fall Classic, Inside Pitch, National Pastime 3, National Pastime Next Generation, Sports Illustrated Baseball, Sherco, All Star Baseball. Status Pro, if I didn't mention it. The game that I bought that IG Jester hated that I think is fantastic because it's just like comes with like 2,500 all-time great players. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Well, Sean, you can do that. But in this game, maybe that would be something. I know that they're going to be adding something which will make you guys pretty happy. So I heard from Paul Fay today that Craig is making one more addition before the release today, and that's going to be a screen with no dice on it. So that way it will help reinforce the notion that you can roll up any dice. Because Paul had mentioned, oh, well, you don't have to roll the dice in the screen. I knew that, and I didn't know whether Paul caught that or not. That's why I wasn't rolling dice when I was showing the board game assistant. Okay. Um, so that's going to be a quick addition coming in. There will be just the field. Let's go ahead and close this. There will be no dice down here. So there will be that option so that it doesn't confuse people. But the point is right now, even though I'm playing this as PPR advanced, I could be playing any game. So once again, I am not rolling any dice. I'm not going to even click down here. Okay. Vince Coleman's up. All right. And I roll whatever it is that Vince Coleman gets a single in my game. Whatever that board game is, it doesn't matter. A single is a single in any baseball game. A stolen base, a home run, an RBI, a sac fly, sac bunt, catcher interference, runner interference, a balk, a wild pitch, a passed ball. It doesn't matter what baseball game you're playing. If it's baseball, these plays are going to be in there, right? So this could be so Vince Coleman is up, and we're going to start by playing as APA. So whatever that result is for a single for Vince Coleman, all right, he singles. All right, batter up. All right, so now I'm flipping the next card. So I'm flipping the next card and it shows me that Ozzie Smith is up. And I've decided, all right, now I'm going to roll this as baseball classics. All right, fall classic baseball. All right, and of course I'm going to send Vince Coleman because that would be silly not to. All right, so I roll a dice, and maybe in the specific whatever game I'm playing, it has a decision. Does he get a good jump and make the steal? Well, this one says that he does, so he's safe. Now he's on second base. All right. Now I'm flipping a fast action card. So you don't even this doesn't even have to be a cards and dice companion. Now I could be playing status pro baseball, flipping a fast action card, and the pitcher, let's say there was a balk. Okay. Oh, and this was my fault that we got this. So let's just close this. That was my fault, guys. Either that or I just hit a weird bug. So let me jump back into this because I don't want this thought experiment to go anywhere. All right. So let's pick it back up and let's bring back Forbes Field because I don't want to torture you guys with all the uh, icons. Icons. Yeah, that's what we call them, icons. All right. I should let Paul or Craig know if they're listening in that happened, just in case it wasn't my fault. Because I am starting from a fresh start here, so it looks like there might have been a little bit of a bit of a there. All right. Let's go ahead and reload this game. Do I still want to reload a game? Yes, I do. Okay, I'm going to browse. I didn't get to show this last night. Okay, so I am in game saves. Let me make sure I'm in the proper one. I have like so many versions of this game in here. It's not even funny. All right, so it looks like it's this one, I believe. Let me see if it's at bat 2. And submit. Yeah, okay. So that bulk, all right. What do we got here? Well, we got Tim McCarver over there. I'm not sure. This might. Oh, this is the 08 Cubs, 67 Cardinals. Still, I'm able to show you that you can reload a game. I just picked the wrong save. All right, now to rename your damn games to end up erasing results at times. I know. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? All right, so let's stop for a moment and let's look at just regular outs. Okay, and we're just these are the quick outs. I don't care what game you play. If you're playing a baseball game, if you're playing inside pitch, to say it the way Robert says it, what do you have? You have strikeouts, drop strikeouts. You have strike them out, but the runner steals and is successful, and you have a strike them out, throw them out, whatever, or a strike them out, and you got a runner that was breaking for second, and the catcher, bam, fires down the first, doubles off the player. Okay, doubles off the runner. That's a baseball thing, right? Ground balls. I mean, how many different ground balls can you have? They're all covered here, right? Ground ball to pitcher fires on to first. You know, probably the most common one. There's your 6-3, 5-3, your 4-3, 3-1, right? So the first baseman feeding to the pitcher covering. You got a 2-3, right? Maybe it's a little number out in front of the plate. Catcher pounces on it, fires to first. All right. Runners, when you have the situations where runner advance, again on ground ball outs, and you can see there's an extra possibility in here. Okay, and that's a 3 unassisted play. All right, which you don't see here on a great because there's nobody on, but a runner could advance obviously on a ground ball to first unassisted. Okay, and then you just have the garden variety ground ball unassisted, right? And then you have situations where the lead runner could be out. That's what the question marks are. Happens in baseball, right? It's all baseball. Fly out and line out. It doesn't matter what game your system is. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm being pedantic about this, but this is to drive home the point that this can be played with any baseball game and no syntax. Okay? So here are the fly ball and line out possibilities. Okay, you're either going to line out to short, third, second, or first, or you're going to fly out, or a sinking liner that's going to be caught from in right, center, left field, right? Tag possibilities. The first three, right field, center field, left field, that's going to be a tag up. But there could be a fly out where maybe in your game it might say, well, you've got to do a check. Is this guy going to run or not? Okay, this gives you the option of saying yes or no. Do you want that runner to tag? Pedantic is a cool word. Thank you, Sean. We'll probably throw in another word here in a second related to it. I don't want to sound like this is being Beatles Eternally being so strictly pedagogical. There you go. So that's related to pedantic. All right. So I would love, like, if Robert some night, instead of us having a long chin wag, if he's up to it after he's done with his season replay, Robert, get on the mic with me, roll up an inside pitch, and I will record the results in here. And I think that will really help everybody get their heads around this. Pop ups. Well, here are the pop ups. You're not going to pop out to center, obviously. You're going to pop to the pitcher. You can pop to the catcher, to first, second, third, or short. Okay, those are not pop ups. That's just in baseball. If it goes out in the outfield, it's a fly ball, even if it's a shallow fly ball. But maybe it's the second baseman that goes out onto the grass. It's still a pop out, right? Weak fly. Garden variety double plays are here. All right, down here. Um, and all these things happen in baseball. Doesn't matter. You can have a drop K, batter makes it. Drop K, the batter's thrown out. Catcher gets it. It's Johnny Bench, man, and he absolutely fires a BB to first. All right, and then there's the clock violation. Maybe your game, perhaps your game, and if you're playing by these abominable modern rules, right, where you could have a clock violation on the batter, right? No more Garcia Parras up there, and you're playing with 2024 rules or 20 whenever the pitch clock started. I don't remember. There's all the sack bunt possibilities, and there's a lot of them. There's 9 possibilities. This covers every sacrifice bunt possibility. Sack flies, right, left, right, center. Foul outs again. Now that being said, now there is a miss. No, they're not missing. Here you go. There's every position. Every position is covered there. So these are the garden variety defensive plays. Craig Harris. Okay, so here we go. Um, Thank you, Craig, for coming in. I'm glad you got my Facebook message, or if you did. He says, a note on the Tag Plus: if you're playing anything with Pocket Pennant Run, you won't use this, as it will be using PPR data. You would do your check and select the appropriate choice for the runner. So thank you for that clarification. So I would have approached it as if, okay, it's giving me a choice, but thank you. See, this is why it's good to have the developer in here. So guys, Craig Harris is in here. I don't know if he's up to taking some just general questions. I think, if Craig just hanging out, and nice surprise to have him here, because I really want to just bring this point home. Okay, so we understand here that all of these plays are going to be in any game system because it's in baseball, right? We're not playing banana ball where there's going to be a thing. Thank God it's not banana ball at where a fan catches a fly ball in the stands and it's an out. That's not a possibility here because banana ball is not baseball. It's Worldwide Wrestling Federation, something that uses a bat and a ball, right? All right, guys, if you do have some questions about the game, not just questions about certain things, and maybe we could focus on how this works as a board game companion, because again, I mostly play digital baseball, and I love this as a digital game. Believe me, I do. I love the fact that I've got to make some house rules for steals and stuff. The AI manager might say to steal, but I will sometimes override that because it might not be great baseball, and that's not the fault of the game. All right. Now let's go to manual outs. These are really, really important. And I think if anything, for you guys that play cards and dice, you're going to get unusual outs. Okay, and that even happens in digital baseball. Dave Cook has said that if it has happened in baseball, It's programmed into Action PC Baseball, and I've seen some cool, weird, rare things there, as I have in Baseball for Windows. All right, but staying with the paradigm right now of cards and dice baseball, you triple plays. I mean, super, super, super rare, but they happen. But over here, you can't record a triple play. But if you don't see this tab over here, and you can't really miss it, there it is. There's a triple play. There is a liner to so here's the unassisted triple play, basically the liner to short triple play. So this is kind of your unassisted triple play, right? You might have some bizarre defensive play that happens on the field. So all of these choices, all of these radio buttons here cover those possibilities. You just boom, 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 and you enter your play, and you're done. Okay, so let's jump back out of this. Um, I think the other thing that I run into is the okay. So Sean has a question. Okay, he says second base plus eight 3 stars don't know how to enter it and get the proper result. So that's pretty easy, Sean. If I select hit, basically what you're doing is you're doing here. Okay, and the game knows how many runners there are on base. So right now, do I have somebody on? Yeah, I do. So we know that he's going to score. All you do is this. Boop. Okay. Now this is if you're playing pocket pennant run. So you already know that. So I'm going to click no. So you're talking. I guess let's reset this at bat so that maybe Craig can give us some um, maybe a little better than I can how to record that play. So he's asking what game system you're playing. Okay. Hardball Retro is indeed Derek Bain's channel, and I'm hoping that Derek will. I know he specializes in a lot of retro ball, but he's named his 3 go-to games, and I'm hoping that at some point we get Derek on to talk about this game. He doesn't have a lot of experience with it, but I think he would like it. Um, The other thing I think about this, and this is to Craig and Matt's credit, is this, and so when I started the broadcast last night, I wanted to also reiterate and drive home and reinforce the point because people there was a guy in that made a comment, and I'm sorry I can't remember your name, bud. It was early yesterday or something, and you said, "Is this the game or the game or the software, or is this a physical game or right?" That's what it was. So the main product of this game is the pocket pennant run game, whether it's the physical game or the print and play PDF. All right, because this began life as a cards and dice game. And the original Pocket Pennant Run Manager, which I could bring up version 2, I still have it. In fact, I have every version of this Pocket Pennant Run software. I still have it. Um, a lot of it for nostalgia purposes and to also watch this game grow into something really fantastic. Okay, and it was basically at that point kind of adjunct software. I looked at it to the card game. If you guys remember, you couldn't the dice weren't here or anything. And I so desperately wanted to play the game again, and I bought the physical game. It's like, all right, I've got this, and I was just using it for that. And it was just okay, good. I have limited space. I don't have to put out this big footprint. All right, and that was all. And it was just player ratings, and so I had to look at charts, which is why I bought, have the mats, and which are beautiful, and I was so happy to buy them. Okay. Um, well, it will do it. It will do it. Okay. So Craig Harris says, "Are you asking how to record on paper using the software?" Not sure what you're asking. Um, Hi, the release tonight will include the note. Yeah. So Paul, I mentioned that. Thank you. So now, guys, we not only have the developer of the Pocket Pennant Run Manager in here, Craig Harris, but we also have the play tester for this for the software for the Pocket Pen and Run Manager. So guys, um, they're going to do a lot better than I can even. I'm coming at this as a fan of the game, but I don't have anything to do with programming it. I am going to start doing ratings for dead ball managers and stadiums and stuff like that, and maybe offering some suggestions to Craig down the line for some things that could be incorporated into earlier baseball. But we got the experts here, and we had Matt in here last night, which was nice. Okay, it's just the same. The stars have been omitted, but it's the same play. Yeah. So, guys, there will be a no. You're at the you're at Taverna. Listen, he's already picking up the and we've got nuts. Gotcha. Um, so yeah, Craig is here. So Paul, say hi to Craig. Craig, say hi to Paul. It's like a me. Like, what do I have to do with this? You guys know each other, and they've done a fantastic job. And how this software has grown, that I can understand that people are kind of confused about what's going on, because this on its own, and I will say this on its own, if the physical game did not exist, and the choice was to buy this software for $24.99, it would still be a no-brainer for me. It would be a no-brainer. To me, this is a full-fledged game, but it's also so much more. It is so much more. Jeff Ray, welcome in. He says, watch last night's broadcast in awe. Had only one question. Is it possible someday soon to make visitors' uniforms gray, home uniforms white, and let the user select cap colors? Well, we got the principal developer of the software here, Jeff. So hopefully we'll get an answer on that one. The addition of logos, but Jeff, that you're in awe of this, I am too, all the time. I've been waiting. Poor Paul over to my good Scouser friend. He understands me. I'm Irish. He understands me. Even though he thought I was Scottish with my last name, there are Irish McGregors. The brogue is very soft. You don't hear it really unless I'm drunk. But poor Paul, I would every once in a while he would come into broadcast. So Paul, where are we? Not pressuring you, but I was sorta. Paul knew. He understood. And here it is, and I'm just blown away. I mean, for some people, these logos are a small thing. This is huge. This just this touch just ups the game dramatically. But also the color coding now on the score sheet is amazing. So let's think of this again. Are we going back to Cars and Dice while there are questions being answered? Logos were reason enough to buy it. See, all the rest, awesome. Bam, out of the park, right? And not talking about that game, but come on, right? So I do I would, you know what? Damn it, we are gonna do this. Let's, okay, again. Pardon my icons, guys, but I can't work with icons that are just like strictly whatever. Okay, can't do it. Just can't do it. So where's Lenny? Where is Lenny? Because I think it's important to see the differences here. I could even just bring up an old version of Helix here. Let's see. What do I got? What do I got? Which one do I want to pick? Ah, my God. Why do I get myself into these things? Um, all right, here's Helix. All right, and hopefully this doesn't mind being the same thing, or two different versions of this running at the same time. There we go. All right, so maybe we can do a little bit of side by side comparison. All right, because I really want to talk about its development and what I've seen, and I should make you guys just put up with all of the I don't even know what the hell I'm doing about highlight savings. Forget it. Deal with the icons. Love it. It's a sign of a creative mind. Let's get out of this game for a moment. All right, and let's start with this. All right. So this is Helix. This was December 1st, 2024. All right. This is the new version. This is Jasper. I'll bring up version 2 another night, whatever, another day. So if you look at this, let's start with this, and this is all going to bear in. Dwayne Martz, how you doing, man? Okay. Craig says we've looked at colorizing uniforms for each team, but a lot of work for all teams. However, your suggestion is a good one. The colors are now a tribute to retro games. So I think that's cool. Um, and I think it's great. I hope the one thing I'm hoping for someday is a way to have like because now you can see like the batters. I understand why it might be hard to do with the pitcher. If you could kind of flip the pitcher sprite around for left right, so I can just see that at a glance, but it's no big deal. It's no big deal that you can't. Let's look at this version here first. And it was great. But what were you seeing here? Team management, print selected player team cards, print season player team cards, stat facts, help, game sim, box score replay, quick play, game day replay, about. So in the process of creation, we know for instance that there's evolution in anything that you create. You're a painter, you start with a blank canvas. That blank canvas is going to evolve into either when Jasper Johns was at that canvas, he would do these amazing sort of cool flag things or something like that, right? Salvatore Dali melted clocks, but it was all a process of strokes and technique and things like that. Such is the same way with game developments as much as science is an art. And so with this original interface, we got used to it, but you kind of had to look around, try to figure out, okay, what does this do? What does that do? What's the difference between a game sim, a box score replay, a quick play, and a game day replay? And when I first got this version 3, and actually the first version 3 was Goji, which I probably should have brought that one up instead, but too late. Anyhow, right? So you had to sort of poke around. So over here, now in this new version, there's no guesswork here at all. You read the language and you're set to go. All right. So there's my season replay. All right. My season replay is from right here. If you want to do a season replay, just play a game from history. Okay. Over here, that season replay is under this thing called box score replay. Okay. So I love the fact that Craig decided to have verbiage here and also cleaner. Look, we've gone from 10 buttons now to 6, and these are the 4 principal buttons, and I love that. So this is kind of a sort of macro environment for playing pocket pennant run baseball or your favorite cards and dice game. So that's really, if we look at the Pocket Pennant Run Manager software as that, apart from Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. Let's look at it that way. Okay. So thanks, Craig. I mean, if that's possible, I don't know. I mean, my experience with Python scripting is very limited. I've used it with UVI, which is that's Virtual Studio technology, and you can do a lot of Python scripting and things like that for creating studio effects, things like that. But it's with a suite called Falcon, which is used by Hans Zimmer and all these big guys and stuff like that. So whether that's possible to flip that sprite, I don't know. But it would be cool to see. But other than that, I mean, I'm happy with what's going on so far. So let's go into a quick play here. And again, I probably should have brought up Goji because I think Helix. Let's just do this as one, and because I just want to compare the two things too. Again, with an eye toward let's do 1978 Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees. All right, any two teams anywhere in any database, but we're just gonna have the Yankees being visitors and the Red Sox being the home team. All right. Oops. Yep. So stay there. There's my. There we go. 1978. All right. And Boston Red Sox. So you American League fans, I'm a National Leaguer doing all this stuff for you, huh? Do I have pitchers to hit? Yes, I do. Okay. I'm going to leave their fatigue ratings where they are because this is modern baseball and they're sissies. All right, so there's Ron Guidry, although Guidry could go more than 7. So Guidry and Tiot, right, just for illustrative purposes, okay? And, play game day. Okay. So Helix, and Craig, correct me if I'm wrong, Helix was the first iteration of the game in which we had color coding. That's for bullpen warm-ups. And Craig, by the way, I don't know if you heard this last night. This is the only baseball sim that I play where I use the pitcher, where I use pitcher warm-up, because I think this is the only game that gets it, that really gets it, where it's kind of understandable. There's no guesswork. I don't want to play guesswork. Out of the park baseball, I don't warm up. Action PC, I don't warm them up. Diamond Mind, any of the other games that offer, yours is the only game in which I actually play with warming up a pitcher, and I love it. I love it. All right, now in this, guys, all you can play is pocket pennant run baseball. Okay, again, it creates the score sheet. There's all your, there's your outs and your manual outs. Okay, so, but you can see here, not categorized. So you kind of had to look in here in this older version. So what did it evolve into? Well, as we saw, column headings for each out, and much and more of them. So would this have worked as a sort of board game companion, even as far back as Helix, or I even dare say Goji? You could have fudged it and made it happen. I don't know whether Craig had thought about. Okay, so this is the first one. Oh yeah. Oh my God, the warm up is so cool. And I was playing a game offline one night, and I forgot. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Now I've just taken, and I forgot about my guy in the pen. I'm like, oh geez, I got to bring him in, and I brought him in, and of course, he was penalized. He was tired. Um, and it was brilliant. It was fun. But the other games that do, they just don't. It just doesn't feel right. But this, it really, really does. I love the colors. I love the numbers that go for it. At a glance, I can see what's going on. So this was really, and I'm not trying to play it down or anything. This was also, we saw the and again, Goji and Helix were kind of, these were sort of the big groundbreakers, right? This was like the change, the big change. Right now we've got all the broad strokes in with Goji, and then the refinement starts with Helix. If we're going to stick with our painting analogy, this is huge right here. So for cards and dice players, think about this. Okay, as as much as you're used to looking at your APA cards or Fall Classic or Inside Pitch or whatever, this is kind of cool in a way that if I had a board game up here, if I'm just looking here at these defensive ratings and I can just see by colors. Here we go. Man, I got a strong outfield here. Excellent right field, excellent left field. Center fielder is good. Pretty good up the middle, weak at the hot corner, excellent at first. Okay. Um, I like the fact that you can see all of these things at a quick glance. If I just, because I'm not a person that, like, I don't want to look at a lot of charts when I'm playing. If I'm playing cards and dice baseball, I don't want to look. I don't want to go through binders and charts and flip this and that and check this and do that. Which, again, no offense at all to Keith, but why I will never play History Maker baseball. It's too much looking at things. I don't want to look at things. I want to resolve. I want to be in the game of baseball. If I want to worry about whether somebody's this or whether somebody's that, I'll play D&D, or I'll play Pathfinder and do dexterity checks or whatever, and whatever you have to do to jump over a chasm, or to the strength check to take on the Minotaur or what have you. I don't want that in a baseball game. That said, it's awesome and a lot of people love it. So what this has given me is a way to play cards and dice baseball using this very good engine, by the way. Um, Pocket Pennant Run is a good baseball game in its own right, and it's right there. I don't gotta flip cards, whatever. This is pragmatic for me. But I'll tell you what, guys, if I had room, in this little place where I'm staying right now, if I had the room to put out And if you guys remember the Status Pro board game, it's not a small footprint. It's fairly significant. And then you have all your cards and everything like that. It's not small. I would still use this as a board game companion. And I could use this with fast action cards. So I think it's great that Craig today will be right before the release is going to be putting in where you'll see a screen that there will be no dice. All right, so we've looked at this. All right, and we're going to go ahead and close this one. I'm going to bring up Forbes again just so that you guys don't, you've died enough now from these, all of these things. All right. So we go back to this now. And I hope we're just going to load a season schedule here. Yeah, da 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 da. I'm going to load a save season. And thank you, Paul, by the way, for sending me a lot of your pre-populated ones. Save me a lot of work. Let's just go to 1949. And holy hell, did we have a crazy game there? Pirates lose to the Cubs 16-14. Ouch. We're just going to pick a game. All right. Braves and Phillies. All right. The running, the box score sim, everything like that. The manual entry. If so, from a cards and dice perspective, look what you can do. If you wanted to use this software just to manually enter results in a game, well, it's already populated the teams, and you can just start creating everything that you want to do. If you want to go the this route, go for it. If you've done a game in Green Fox, which again, Green Fox can be used and similarly to this, it's an excellent application in its own right. I'll do another video on it some night. You can import from there, right? But after you have all your stats in, if you are really, really OCD about all of that, after you do all your stats, your whole line score, everything like that, bam, you can save everything like that. Think of this as this sort of super kind of board game assistant helper. If you don't want to think about it as a game, don't. Think of the software as this is a way that I can quickly take a lot of that pencil work out of my game and writing this and writing down all these lineups where where my lineups are created for me and I can concentrate on rolling the dice or flipping the fast action cards, right? Great way to do it. Um, is this a part of the software that I'll use? No, I won't use this. The game already will do this for me, but you can use this. It's the freedom here. Okay. Do I want to do I want to actually play this game between the center or between the Braves and the Phillies? Not really. I don't really. No, I don't want to today. So, if you're doing a season replay, what is one of the hardest things if you're doing a cards and dice season replay? How many of you have done a cards and dice replay where you were able to not only have scores for the other teams, but stats compiled for the other teams? Most guys use it's kind of another piece of software or whatever, or roll the dice to get the scores for the game based on algorithms for that season and those two teams. But you're not getting any stats, all right? But even so, how many people get through, right? I mean, Robert does it, you know, but he's not doing a single team. But let's say Robert would take his New York Mets. How long would it take? All right, if you did a game a day, all right, 162 days. So that's almost half a year. It's almost half a year if you do just a game a day. You do 2 games a day, okay, nice. Now you're bringing it down. But this is still an investment. It's still a time investment, and if that's all you're going to do. So now you have two options. If you want to, if I wanted to run a box score sim on this, I could just do a quick sim, get a score if I didn't give a damn about the stats. But I can get a full game sim and track stats meaningfully. Okay, and this even works if you're using this as a board game companion. Okay, so the full game is going it's going to track these stats and everything for you, and then in your game, right? You're playing your game, and here's another thing too. Mike So Sean says plays a boatload of games per day, and so my seasons take forever. I'm nuts. Yeah, we are crazy. He says all baseball sim players are nuts. Yes, remember this golden maxim, right? Gaming is cool because of Big Bang Theory, but in Big Bang Theory, they didn't play cards and dice baseball. So we are geeks in the gaming community. We still are. We're the last of the geeks, right? Because it's cool to play D and Pathfinder and Talisman and all that cool stuff right now. It's cool now. Big Bang Theory made it cool, and look how many celebrities have now come out of the closet, so to speak, or out of the dungeon. Yeah, I've been playing D for years. We are still the geeks, and we probably always will be. How niche can you get playing not just baseball sims, but I mean just sports sims in general? And I'm not talking about Twitch games like Super Mega Baseball, all right? Uh, Doing this stuff and painstakingly tracking and the things that we do. We're the geeks. So I agree with you, Sean. And Mike Silva did something that one of the reasons, I mean, besides Mike's ballparks and uniform mods, Mike was doing a 1987 replay, and what was really fun about that is Mike was doing that replay using a number of different baseball engines. He played some of the games in, I believe, in micro league baseball. Even he did some in Out of the Park, some in Action PC, some he rolled up using different cards and dice games and was able to track everything. Now, at that time that Mike was doing that, I don't believe that this was out yet, and like even in the I don't think Helix was out yet. So but he was still tracking everything. You could use any system you want and any combination. I could play some games on here. Maybe if I wanted to do this, I said I would never use that thing. I wouldn't, but just let's do sake of argument here for a moment. I played a game in Action PC. I can input those stats in here just like you can with Strat. Okay, so I can do that. But probably the way I would do it is I would use maybe 5 or 6 different baseball engines in the games that I'm not interested in playing. Again, like I'm not. Do I really care about the Braves and Phillies in 1949? Probably not. So maybe I'll let those just full game sim right here, and just get those stats and track stats. Enter what I want. This is that canvas that you can do with what you want. Hey, midlife crisis, does I resemble that remark? At least according to my life. Todd B says not to take away from the great baseball stat keeping software, but if these folks were ever to branch out to basketball and football stat keeping software, they could make a bundle. Um, David says my name is David and I am a geek. I own it, man. I own it. I love it, and I'm a person. I'm a rock musician and a sleight of hand artist. Um, and magicians, dude. Okay, so musicians, people get what we do, and oh, it's cool, man. Wow, you're a musician. But if I say, yeah, and I'm also a magician, they'll say, what do you? And then they either think that we're the stupid guy that ties balloon doggies, which I always have to keep adding. No, I don't do magic for kids. I don't tie balloon doggies. I'm the guy you don't want to play cards against. Things like that. So magicians are kind of geeks in the entertainment world. And so I own it on both sides, baby. I love it. I love it. Anyhow, we're kind of getting a little off topic, but we're having fun. So the Pocket Pennant Run software is a part of Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, but it is also a larger ecosystem that, if we flip it around on its head, Pocket Pennant Run is just one of the infinite baseball games you can play in the Pocket Pennant Run Manager, right? The size of these databases are crazy. All right? Think about this. You have the ability to take whatever game you have, and you have this again. Now, Craig and Matt, crazy men that they are, they're giving us everything here. Everything. I don't have to buy another season for this game. I don't have to. This is it, man. This is for the two crazy low prices. And I know I sound like ShamWow guy, or who was the guy back in New York, Crazy Eddie, right? Crazy Eddie. You guys remember Crazy Eddie? Remember hearing about that guy? Ended up going to jail and stuff, but he did all those crazy commercials, owned an appliance store in Manhattan and all over New York City. You're getting everything here. But if you have, like, if you're Sports Time Machine and you've got, a ton of strat seasons, you can put them to work right here. And you could say, all right, I'm going to do a replay in strat, and I have the 1949 season. And you don't have to go to Baseball Reference. You don't have to go to Retro Sheet. It's all here. So this is also a research tool that you can use for any baseball game. Any baseball game, as played lineups. So if I wanted to, let's find something a little bit more interesting here. Where's the beloved Brooklyn Dodgers here? We'll do Pirate. All right, Pirates, Cubs, whatever. All right, and we're gonna print play game. All right. So as soon as I click that button, it's gonna take a second here because it's pulling all its stuff together. I hope this is helpful for guys. Oh, I can't do that. Oh yeah, duh, I did something wrong. That was my fault. It's going to force me to do this. Right? Hang on a second, guys. Come on. Come on, baby. Don't be afraid. You know what? I don't think this game, I don't think it needs sound. I really, really don't think it needs sounds. In fact, I think it kind of would take away from it a little bit. Let's come back to this. I think I might have it. Craig, I think I might have done something stupid here. Did I? Or do I have like 3,000 windows open? Oh my God, this is all me. Okay. Let's oh, because it was trying to run a full game sim. Yeah, let's just do a full game sim. I'm like, okay, that wasn't a crash. I don't know what happened there. And let's close this and let's go back here. That was my fault, guys. Paul always minimizes his windows. I just leave every damn thing open. All right, let's just again, let's select a season. All right. Um, and I should go to one I'm a little bit more familiar with. So we'll go to 1901. Let's go to 1901. All right. And let's do the Reds at the Pirates. So when I press this button, okay, right there, I'm looking at the actual lineups that Fred Clark and whoever was managing the Reds, I forget who was the Reds manager then, that Fred Clark used in this baseball game. And of course, I can change pitcher fatigue, everything like that. So at this point, I can save these lineups to a score sheet. Now, Sean, here you go. This is what you're asking about, the score sheets. Here you go. So you have a double team sheet, dual player sheet, the at bat player sheet, which again, thanks to Pocket Pennant Run, I've grown to love these a lot better now. At bat stat player sheets and at bats, right? So you have choice of 5 here that you can use. Okay. Um, so and you can then save these game sheets to a folder, and Bob's your uncle. Okay. So even right there. Okay. Change your lineups, do whatever you do, go into the game. There we go. We're going to stop in glory in the splash screen here now for these. Usually the only players who are not on rosters are players with little or no at bats. Cool. If there's a minor league database, does that mean that your Richmond Braves can beat up my Toledo Mud Hens? Yeah. So let's. So there's not yet. Let's go back and let's look at the databases here. Okay, what we're in this game, but we'll jump out, which is nice because we'll call the game for right, or we'll just save it. We'll save it. Oh, there, we'll save it. Okay, game save. Let's back out. All right, and let's back out again, and let's go here, and we are going to add a team. And the only reason we're going to do this is so I can show you um, the databases involved here and what's involved. Okay, so right now, David, you have just AAA minor league from 2000 to 2024. Pretty good. I'm hoping that this will get expanded. to the point that Out of the Park does it. So while this is a larger collection of databases in Out of the Park baseball, I would like to be able to someday in this game, I or for some people, when Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio, when they're playing, for San Francisco Seals back in the 30s or 20s, whenever it was 30s, not the 20s, the 30s for them. It'd be great to see an expansion of that. But right now, you still got you got quarter century here of AAA minor league. So yeah, we could. So do you want to do a Richmond Braves and Toledo Mud Hens? Yep. So 2002 International League, there it's in here. So you're set to go. There's 1 year of NCAA baseball, Korean baseball. What I think is awesome here is the Negro League baseball having this. Um, so after poking around in the game more, I understand now. Remember when I was saying before that, and I didn't like the artificial demarcation between historical MLB and then MLB. The reason that that's done is because of the when I explained last night when you're playing a team from what would be considered the live ball era, so 1920 forward, versus somebody in the dead ball era. And if the dead ball team or the 19th century team is the home team, then that team from the live ball era, right? Those ratings are going to change to reflect how they would play in the dead ball era. So you even have a rough sense of normalization here, which is pretty rare in cards and dice games. You don't usually have that at all. You just put two teams together and that's it. But Craig even thoughtfully creates this and, understands that in this baseball, 1871 and 1919, this was station to station baseball for the most part, though there were home runs that were hit into the stands, and other things like that. But the triple was really the big hit. And, but it was just bunting to get on. Your cleanup hitter would sacrifice bunt in these times. But now, so I understand the demarcation as a student of the history of the game. No, but for the purposes of the game, I understand why this is split this way. Makes sense. It makes sense. Um, so imagine though that you can use this software even if you think outside of the box more for cards and dice baseball. As long as you have the players, right? As long as you have the players, you could mix and match and do all kinds of really, really cool things. So I wouldn't know how to do this in Strat or Appa, but if you wanted to do cross era play or you wanted to do 1929 Philadelphia A's are going to be in your league and the 1949 Red Sox, and the 1972 Oakland A's and whatever, however you would come up with being able to mix those different things, you can create then in here, right? If you wanted to also add those teams in, there's going to be ways with the next release. Paul or Craig is going to be, don't know when the next release is going to be, and no pressure, guys. Is going to keep me happy for at least 3 days. There's going to be a schedule editor that opens up a world of possibilities, cards and dice players. So if you wanted to do something that I've been asking cousin Ken Castro that I would do if I had the cards and dice Appa Bat set, the physical cards, after I would do a replay of that, I would sort everything out into position, shuffle all the cards, and do a blind draft and go all over again. And what I would do is actually then put those teams into Pocket Pennant Run, roll up the games that I want, let this do the other games that I don't want to do. Bob's your uncle. So there's another way for that sort of ecosystem cards and dice thing to happen in here. Um, so I think that's pretty much fair. So fast action cards. Does your game use fast action cards? You could use it. Do you have one of those old timey spinner games? Works in here. Any cards and dice works in here. Showed you guys how to even switch from game to game in this. So for Robert, when you're out there, you could use this for inside pitch. You absolutely could. I watch a lot of you guys, cards and dice players, play Brings back great memories of my undergraduate days. Um, but I also, but I also, it brings back kind of memories of all this housekeeping that you have to do. And as much as I do, as much as I loved playing status pro baseball and strat and APA, I found it distracting at times having to do all the housekeeping that I had to do. With this game, with this software, with this helper, I don't have to do any of that housekeeping. I got to hit batter up pretty much. Roll the dice, boom. And if I want to take that beautifully printed score sheet, or I have my own, or I'm going to take the low tech Clee Baseball Fan 879 approach, okay, um, I can do that too. Craig Harris says plan is to expand AAA, college in Japan, but no time frame. Really cool. I think a lot of people interested in Japanese baseball too, Craig. But I think having some expanding the minors, and at this point, even if it's AAA and then maybe down the line at least AA would be cool because more and more players now are jumping over AAA to get into the bigs. So um, it's only going to grow and get better. And what's the best part about it too, guys? So Craig and Matt, and I said this last night, and I don't know if Matt was in here, and I know you weren't, Craig. I hope that if it hasn't, I hope that this is going to become what you guys do. Um, how Richmond created a company, and right 1961, right? There wasn't a lot of this around yet. I mean, APA was around, and you had Sherco, you had Catico, you had some other games, but um, you got to face it. What these guys did, what Seats did, whatever that took a lot of balls. And what you guys are doing, same thing. I hope this becomes to the point where you and Matt can say this is our full time gig, or whatever. I forget which one of you is the musician. I think it's Matt. Whatever. Maybe this will fund your product or your next project. You actually be able to go to Abbey Road Studios, record where the Beatles and Pink Floyd recorded. How cool is that? So, so here's the thing. And I want to address something here from Sean because I understand where he's coming from. It's a great part of supporting PPR is not supporting Strat and APA. In one way, I do understand that, especially Strat with their only some seasons are available, but yet every season is available on their PC game. I can't I can't get behind a company that's going to make me beg for whatever season. I can't get behind that. It's not anything wrong with the game engine. For APA, APA's lost its vision, and it's kind of sad to say. But on the other hand, if you are if you love the games that you play, and you should always play the games that you love, and so if you love APA and you love Strat, why not at least think about, okay, how can I play more baseball and do less housekeeping? This is the way to do it, right? So again, not a knock on Mark Cohen because Digital Diamond is a fantastic product, and with having Status Pro Baseball being built into now as a discrete game engine, April 14th that releases, guys. That is fantastic. You can use it as a board game companion as well. Any game you want. You could play a Pocket Pennant Run game. You could play a game of Pocket Pennant Run and record your results in Digital Diamond Baseball. Wouldn't that be fun? Or vice versa. Who's to say you couldn't do a digital? So now I'm going to switch gears on you. Now you're playing a digital game. Well, you can still have this do a lot of the other work for you. Now, it's kind of silly because digital games already do track stuff. So why would you do this? I'm just saying. If it's in baseball, you can play it here. And I think it's so brilliant. I don't know who came up with the idea, if it was Paul or if it was Craig. So in today's release, when it comes out later, what you guys will see is a version or a game mode, if you will, a board game assistant mode where there's no dice at all. And that will remind you, wow, I can break out the fast action cards. I can break out the dice for Sports Illustrated Baseball. There's a couple of you out there that have it. I have it here in the form of Dombrov baseball, and I have it in the form of, I forget the name of the game that's, it is basically Sports Illustrated baseball that Jester did in his channel back in 2019. Busted out, but the dice are hard coded in here too for these games. I don't know if there's going to be more games added. I hope so. I certainly hope so. I think Sports Illustrated baseball would be a cool one to add because those dice are. You got to actually, if you can't find them on eBay, you got to go on eBay, buy blank dice, make your own. No big deal. Roll your own. It's easy. Yeah. So I hope that helps. This contains a game, but it contains so much more. And yeah, that's it. And I think the board game companion is an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing, you know. Um, so try it, guys. For those of you that own this game, give it a shot. Play a game. All right. You know what? And it's okay to make mistakes because that's how you learn. Mistakes are not a bad thing. Um, wow, the Expos beat the shit out of the Pirates in that game, didn't they? I don't know, Orioles and White Sox, Padres. I just feel like doing a little bit of a game. Um, let me see. Let me just do a. Let me find a game here. I want to do. What was opening day here? White Sox, Orioles. Bah. Give me my Bucks. We're gonna get revenge on the Expos here. All right, let's play this game for a little bit. That way, if there's any other questions coming in, we can do it. Okay. And there we go again. Proper. I never liked this Pirates logo. I'm so glad we went to the we had the pirate for a while with the cross bats because he looked mean. Grr grr grr. So boink. All right. Let me see. Okay. Since you listed games you want dice for, okay. Well, I will. Sports Illustrated Baseball. Definitely going to use this. So David Baseball Demo says he's going to use this to sim the games he doesn't play in his 1978 season ticket NBC Game of the Week. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yep, mistakes are nothing more than happy little accidents. Um, and at the end of the day, man, I mean, we play games for enjoyment. Now, let's conceptually think of something else. So I was just praising Craig with the idea, or Paul, or whoever, a collaborative idea to not have dice showing. But even as this is right now, and these zones are set up to play pocket pennant run advanced baseball, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I actually choose here. If you're not rolling dice or anything, right now, as this screen looks to you, okay, I can play any baseball game I want. And this is these are the three, pretty much the three buttons I've got to worry about, okay? Because, with Board Game Assistant. Doesn't matter if I change the game up. And again, to do that, guys, go to change dice. And let's say I switch it to Baseball Classics. I can still play any game I want. Maybe I just think these dice are cool looking, which by the way they are. And maybe when I'm like, oh, I'm talking on the phone to, a female particle, and I'm like, oh, look, pretty dice. I don't have this game. I don't know what these mean. So I have no idea. I think some of the freeware games would be nice too, like Time Travel Baseball and Dead Ball Baseball, Back to Basics Baseball. But again, Craig, don't want to drive you crazy. Um, so what you're seeing here may or may not matter to you. What you're seeing here, this doesn't matter at all unless you're playing pocket pennant run baseball. Okay, if there's a range play in your game of choice that you're playing within this ecosystem, this baseball ecosystem, this helper, okay, then you're still going to just record the result of that play. And if it happens in baseball, you can record it and find ways to record it here. Again, whether it's the categorized hits, and this is huge, guys, the categorized outs. This is so nice, Craig, Standing ovation. Jeff Ray Beatles eternally is a fellow Pirates fan. Well, wow, okay, you've been a Pirates fan longer than me, my friend. Since the 13th of October 1960, I implore you to pass over the games the Bucks lose. Yeah, what, Jeff? We're what, 1-3 right now, and we're losing close games. Ugh. What are we doing this year? I mean, what was it yesterday? We lost on a walk-off wild pitch. Oh my God. So yeah, I tend to do that, but sometimes it's fun to get some revenge. It's fun to get some revenge, right? Um, Craig, I don't know if there's the real estate for this, but I did want to ask you a question as well. And guys, don't forget the manual outs. This is really the key for those weird plays that come up. Um, I was gonna ask you about player photos, but you know what? I don't see that you would have no real estate unless somebody would play full screen, but then you're, yeah. Don't worry about player photos. You can always look those up. But if you could switch this little dude around here, right? Because Bob walks a righty, and I've got to keep looking over here to remind myself. But other than that, I'm just loving it, and I'm continuing to see improvements and anything that can bring the cards and dice guys in to say, hey, this is something I want to play. I mean, David Baseball Demos is a pretty he's a pretty discriminating fella. He really really is, and he's got a wonderful cat. But there you go. I mean, he's you got Sports Time Machine. So there's some guys that are interested in this, and I'm liking that. I'm liking that. We are the MLB farm team. So home opener versus the Yankees. What do we got here? Sports Time Machine, how you doing? Okay. Different ways to use player photos. Um, wow. So you know what, Craig? You do. I don't know again enough about Python scripting, but you do have room here that maybe player photos, design wise, I think would look really nice. So you would have Bob Walk in his mug just hanging out here until you change the picture. So it would just be updating on this screen. I mean, artistically, that's kind of the best place to put them because down here I think you're going to get a little too much clutter, too small. But you could get like almost diamond mine baseball size photos in here. Um, if you need to see what they look like, I can show you. I can even send them to you when you guys are ready. I've got all the photos for Diamond Mine Baseball if you want. So Braves are 0-4. Philip, what am I up to? Just talking to people about how this can be used because I wasn't clear enough last night. Because I always approach this game as a cool digital game that uses dice, but kind of just reinforcing that this is a game that you can play with any baseball game that you have. I mean, are there things that don't happen in this game? Uh, like what? Who is that woman that used to run out in the field and like kiss pitchers and stuff? What was her name? I don't remember. I have no idea. So I don't know if Craig has that in the game or not. That would be a fun rare play. Buxom woman comes out and molests catcher. I don't know. It could happen, right? But I really, really encourage you guys to experiment with this thing. Do check out Paul Fay's wonderful tutorials. He's focused because he doesn't live stream, so he can stay focused. He's not like me and shiny toys and puppies and stuff. I am the Rube Waddell of the community, not in pitching arm, but in mentality. Check out. He shows you how to. I showed you last night, but Paul does it in a much more measured manner. Create any team you want. Play this game as pocket pennant run baseball. Give some of the other games a little break. Try something new. There was a time that you weren't a strat player. There was a time you weren't an Apple player. There was a time that you weren't an action PC baseball player. Whatever it is, this game is the game, the physical game, and I promised last night I didn't do it, and I'm going to do it now because I want you guys to see how beautiful this game is. And I'm going to torture you. And I'm going to mention again about the cards. I'm going to mention again about the cards. I was and am going to be again a professional sleight of hand artist, so you can kind of see the cards here. So the card stock for these are incredible. And if there's a deck of cards out there, well, there are, but a little bit more easily available in this part of PA where I'm staying right now, I would use this card stock for professional shows. And guys, I don't charge like $50 a show. I'm not cheap. All right. I would use these in a paying gig, corporate gigs, whatever. That's the components you're getting in this. So here's the size of the game. So look at your hand and imagine your hand is sort of pointing north and south, and you have two decks of poker cards in your hand, right? Lining them up from your heel to your fingers, perpendicular to your palm. That's the size of the baseball game. What you get, though, is pretty incredible. Okay. Um, you get the dice, you get the jumbo chart cards from modern era on one side, dead ball, and we'll add 19th century on the other. Six double-sided jumbo roster cards featuring 12 teams that make up the Great American Teams roster card set. A double-sided jumbo fictional franchise generator card. Come on, how cool is that? Double-sided jumbo quick reference card. Your manager's handbook, which is really very small, and a license to download this crazy thing here that we've been looking at the whole time. Which, by the way, I didn't close. I didn't close the old one, did I? Or did I? Yes, I did. Okay. What is in this software that's free? 316,000 players, 222,000 game schedules, and 196,000 games with as played lineups. I know a lot of you guys play cards and dice baseball, and you want to play as played, and some of you even to the point where if you need to go for a relief pitcher, you're like, okay, I want the guy that actually came in on relief. Well, you have it in this game. If there was a relief pitcher in that game, click and use them. If not, and you're in a bad situation, then well, it's up to you. You got pre-filled score sheet generator, roster card and Excel sheet generator, custom team and lineup creator, which I absolutely love, by the way. Most of all, game simulators for dead ball and modern, Excel static sporter, historical replays, and free pre-filled score sheets with ad-played lineups. An AI coach. It does make some strategic decisions. Now, I will say this, and it's not a knock. Remember, we are talking about a cards and dice game. So, is this an AI like you would find in baseball for Windows or Out of the Park, Pure Sim? No, it's not that kind of AI, certainly, but it's fun. It's fun and it's cool, and it's I think that's pioneering for cards and dice. So we're talking about just the software, though. All right. And again, I love that you have, and you want to put yourself in the game. Go ahead. There's a player card generator. Look at the databases here. So as I said last night, there's 8 databases. All this is for free. For free. Okay. Strip away the beautiful, and they are. They're the you strip away the beautiful graphics of out of the park baseball. All right, and look at the things in out of the park baseball that are possible. Okay, and that game is $49.95. Okay, $49.95, and it's great. It's my favorite digital baseball game. Close second is Action PC Baseball. But I mentioned out of the park because its analog is here. You get everything. Here, you get everything. And I mean, not don't be cheap. But if you want to be cheap, is all you can afford, or you want to see if you like the game, get the 14.99 version. Again, I am not associated at all with Pocket Pennant Run at all. I get no money, no nothing. I love the game. You guys have seen me come down on games. I was like with the newest version of Baseball Mogul. It's like, yeah, it's an okay game. It's not a bad game, but it's not this game. This game is so much better. And you're getting all of this for free. And I can only imagine the man hours. Okay, he's going to get a makeover for game day to more resemble an AI coach in the full sim. That is great news. Joe Murray, welcome in. He says sent you an email. Just with some mobile thoughts from the other day. Okay, I'll gladly look at those, Joe. I love feedback. I know there's a lot of baseball mogul fans out there. I've been buying the damn game for a long time too. It's just time for Clay to retire it, I think. But anyhow, yes, Tabby is very discriminating. Morgana was her name. Philip Reynolds. Thanks, buddy. Um, so yeah, to see to see the expansion of the AI in this in game day would be brilliant. Because one thing I'm not a fan of in cards and dice baseball is I like to manage against an AI. And so why digital purely a digital game in baseball. And so when you guys see me play games on here, I let the computer manage both sides because I just want to call the game and bullshit with you guys. Let's be honest. We're here to talk about baseball, gangster movies, the hottest singer that Ken Castro has discovered, and we all ogle pictures of whomever and whatever. But when I play Out of the Park or Action PC or Diamond Mind or any of those games offline, I manage, and I want to try to outmanage that AI. And just like real baseball managers don't have play results in front of them. I don't have play results. I have no idea. Only God knows what's going to happen when that ball's coming in or that next line of text is coming up in Diamond Mine baseball. So I think that and the fact that I started first with digital baseball and then got into cards and dice later, where most of you guys were the opposite. You started with cards and dice and then got into digital. So digital's always going to be my first love, but that doesn't mean it's better. It just suits me as a player better. But that being said, Sean says spend the money in this instead of baseball mogul. I would say I would agree with that, Sean. In fact, with no reservation. But the only difference is I don't think baseball mogul's a crap game, but this is better in every way. This is better in every way. And the closest thing to this would be Digital Diamond Baseball, certainly, but they're different project. They're different products altogether. Digital Diamond. So this started life as a cards and dice game. Digital Diamond started life as a digital game. And it's great to see that we have these options, whether it's Pocket Pennant Run or whatever. And so again, to close out the thought experiment, let's play somebody who knows a game. Pick a game here, like one of these games. I don't care if it's one of the games, like APA, History Maker, Season Ticket, Baseball Classics, On Deck Baseball, or Strat. I don't care which one it is. Give me a game. Just if you can remember some plays, just tell me what it is just to do this. If somebody doesn't mind, I know that maybe a lot of you guys are at work and you're kind of cheating right now because it's maybe a late lunch or something, or you're out in the Central Time Zone or whatever. Or I'll just do what I did before, just make up plays. We can do that, all right? But I'd rather do something with actually showing, the APA dice or no dice at all or whatever. So maybe I guess we'll just do the no dice thing, okay? Which will be out. I'm not going to ask, but it will be out today. Check your emails, guys. It's going to be there. Okay. Strat April 28th. Okay, so you want to actually okay. So let's do all right, midlife crisis. All right. He's actually given us an actual game day and we can pick that. So let's do that. Let's pick a day in baseball. All right. So this is April 20th, 19. Now, tell me what other game you can do this. There's no game that you can actually go and say, "Yep, I'm going to type in this date and play this game." All right. So 04 28 1985. Boy, and talk about the Pirates sucking in 1985. Good God, we were awful, man. Ugh. 85. Month, day, year. Show available games. Why is it saying that? Oh, because I didn't put. Do I put 1985? Oh, I have. Yes, I do. There we go. My mistake. It had 3 Ys. There should be 4. There we go. All right, and we are looking for. I have to look at the chat again. Detroit, Milwaukee. All right. There we go. Okay, so 5-0 Tigers win. So let it roll it up. There the lineups on that day, and let's do this, man. And yay! God, I love that. And you said Strat. There we go. It's ready to play Strat. Rolling the Bones. Got home from work today. All right, he's playing it right now. Tigers, uh, lighten up, lighten up Teddy Higuera. Okay, and Philip, if we can switch and we can do a few with on deck baseball if that's on here. So, all right, rolling the bones. So here we go. Teddy Higuera gets spanked around, huh? I should have looked at the. I should have looked at this game to see what actually happened. Must have been something pretty special. Um, so he's rolling the dice. I don't even have to roll the dice, but I can roll them. Wait, is this the new version and you got it early from them? No, this is the version that's coming out today. Craig and Paul sort of coordinated and said, "Hey, let's give this bum here the game the night before release to show it off." So you don't have this yet. Yeah, you don't have it yet. You have it today. Today. Okay, just testing the engine. Go for it, midlife. I mean, unless it's a bit of typing for you, or I can just roll up the dice and you can tell me what that means. So Lou Whitaker's up here, and I don't know. I don't remember how to play Strat. It's been ages. So I don't know how do we do this, man. How do we do this? So we got on deck baseball. Philip Reynolds has on deck baseball, and midlife crisis is doing Strat. And right now we're showing Strat with this die and these three dice here. And I'll be damned if I can remember what they mean. I do know that with Strat, you roll the dice and you see the player result in the card. With APA, it's like you memorize things. It's really weird. So if I go to an APA player and say 35, they know what I'm talking about. I might not know what I'm talking about, but I remembered, man. People would say, "Hey, 66." You know, like, yeah, 66, man. You knew you're an APA player, right? um, I'm gonna just experiment with this along with Digital Diamond Baseball because I love Status Pro Baseball. So that's going to be a way for me to test the engine because those cards are going to they're generated by Digital Diamond Baseball. And so I'll be able to kind of do my own testing without my cats batting dice around and stuff like that. Okay, roll it. Got the cards in front of me. I just have to grab Higuera from the pack of the locker room. Okay, when you're ready, all right, I'll go ahead and roll, and I'll hopefully you'll see the screen and know what all that means. So there we go. Back of the locker room. Okay, I've just rolled them, and I always let that use a white die. Can I go to options and change that? I thought Strat used a white die and two red die. Am I in Egypt? Could be. Oh, by the way, guys, just to remind you, this little cool thing. I use red die with white numbers. What happens if I? Oh, that's just going to be black. Okay, so I can't change the black die. Okay, sorry. Catch X, roll him again. Okay, and so I'll roll him again. Boop, roll it again. You can, at the beginning of the game, guys, you can choose one player to kind of boost and a player to slump on each team. Why is that important? Because let's say you're playing 1941. So DiMaggio's off to a good start, right? You could theoretically, as long as he keeps hitting, right, gets a hit in that game, that boost you can keep applying to games as you go along. You can simulate slumps in a season, stuff like that. So I keep forgetting I keep forgetting to talk about that. Okay, so fielding chart. So this is okay. So pop out the catcher. So boom, select out, and remember he's doing strat, guys. All right, and there we go. P2 and one out. All right, so that takes care of Sweet Lou. Alan Trammell up now. Okay, Craig Harris is saying to you guys that if the colors of the dice are wrong, email me the type of die and color. I'm pretty sure that Strat uses a white die and two red die. Pretty sure. as cloudy as my memory is, and a lot of concerts and magic shows through the years, I do think that it uses a white die. So, and now the craziness of working for FedEx. So, yeah. So John just rolled some dice. Now he went through. We had to do a re-roll, consulted the fielding chart. We got the pop out to catcher. Okay, standard 1d6 white and 2d12 could be anything that match. Okay, all right, got it. Well, or I guess 2d6s, right? And that'd be 2d6s. Again, I haven't played strat since I was an undergrad. Graduate students have no time to play games, but as an undergrad, had lots of times because undergraduate work is easy. 2d6s. Okay. All right. So Tramel's up. I'm going to roll him here for Tramel. There we go. And John will be so kind and he'll look at Alan Tramel's card, or Alan Treadmill for Yoko, wherever he is these days. It's Cooney. All right. So we're doing this sort of remotely and with a 6-second. All right. So it's a 6-3 put out, guys. So I'm going to select this out. All right. And ground ball 6-3. Boom. That's it. 2 down. Batter up. And we have Kirk Gibson, Gibby, when he was a Tiger, rolling him for Gibby. There we go. Craig, I was wondering with this die in particular, is there any way at all to maybe make this a little larger? Because I'm thinking for some guys, seeing that little 13 on that die might be, I'm not saying for this update, but for guys that are trying this in strat, that might be a little hard to see as far as the scaling goes. Maybe. All right, and this is a fly out to left. All right, so there we go. I just go to fly out. Um, my eyes are starting to get tired. There we go. Fly out to 7 and automatically changes sides. Put your first batter up. So here he is, Hall of Famer Paul Molitor. Now we just played a half inning of strat. Okay, thanks, Craig. So guys, we just played a half inning of Stratomatic baseball. Midlife Crisis is nowhere geographically that close to me, and he's about 2 hours from me, I think, or something like that. And we are playing asynchronously, but when you hear my voice, you're hearing it 6 seconds in the past. When I'm seeing, right, this is all happening asynchronously, and we're playing a game of strat. All right, we're just going to do just a half inning here. All right, there's Paul Molitor. And he's rolled, well, you can see what he's rolled. So let's see what this comes up with. It's really fun when you're playing pocket pennant run baseball and the rare plays that come up. Those are fun. Like, oh, 777s, this happens, and whatever. Pretty cool stuff. So Paul Molitor. All right. Oh, he's saying TR19SI otherwise. Is that strat speak? I didn't remember. Oh my god. Oh yeah, Sean, the rare play pop-ups are really cool. Okay, my brain is hurting. Hey, there's Paul. He's back again. Paul, we're playing an asynchronous game of Stratomatic baseball right now. So Midlife Crisis is actually rolling a game. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna get either. Okay, so don't you have to roll something? Do you have to roll something else then too, for us to decide what kind of hit that's going to be, or do you want me to just pick one? So Paul has strat, and again, Paul does this. Okay, so we got to roll the d20. Just roll the d20. Okay, so all the dice are going to roll, but we're going to just. So we got a 20 on the d20, so it's a single. If I'm reading your, yep. Okay. All right, so we're going to select the hit. David is asking, Craig, when is the official release today? All right, so we got us a single from Paul Molitor. So boom, Molitor's aboard, batter up. Now I don't remember. Is there like a strategy check or something? I mean, because Molitor could steal some bases. He had some speed. Now again, I'm going off strat for a second here to just show you guys the kind of AI thing that's in here right now. If I click this question mark. So George Bamberger is calling steal in this play. If I was playing pocket pennant run, but I'm not. We're playing strat. But that's just if you're wondering what the manager might want to do. Click the little green question mark. All right, it's going to be this evening. All right. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Needs 5 or 6 and a 2d12 for a good lead. All right, so we got a 10 or on a 2d12. So, hmm, I'm really lost now. Okay, so he's going to hold. All right, so do we just go ahead and, all right, now we're going to roll for the batter. Is that correct? This is kind of fun. This is what I wanted to do last night. I wish I would have known we were going to do this. I would go on StreamYard and there wouldn't be this delay here. Okay, so now we're going to roll for the hitter. There we go. So this is Robin Yount. Paul Molitor's on it first. Again, we're not playing pocket pennant run baseball. We're playing strat. Yeah, Legends. I'm off Mondays, and I noticed last night in my broadcast that I wasn't really clear on that. Certainly, you can use this as a board game companion with the dice that are coded in this game, but you can use this in any game. So now, what Midlife Crisis and I are doing is he's actually at home today, playing a game of Strat, and as he's rolling the dice, or I'm rolling the dice, and he's giving me the player result card. Okay, ballpark home run 1 to 4 in the D20. So we're going to roll this D20, and he rolled a 9. So rolled a 9. So good to see you, Legends. Guys, again, got Legend Sports Universe, just Franchise Stars Baseball League, just held the rookie draft. If you're a Pirate fan, at least we got George Gibson in there, so we got a decent catcher, and can kind of use Jay Hay a little bit. But Wagner, Kiner, not there yet. Damn it. So, okay, so this is a fly ball to the left, and there's not going to be an advance. All right, so we'll select our out, and this is just going to be just a garden variety fly ball to left field. Runner doesn't advance, batter up. All right, Cecil Cooper batting one away, Paul Molitor on first. So yes, Joe, as Craig's already answered, you can play without dice. Um, and there's going to be, although again, because you are sightless, Joe, you won't, but there's going to be a version coming out in tonight's release where there will be no dice in the screen, so you can choose that as well. Craig says, thanks for everyone's support. Hope you enjoy. Going to head out and finish. All right, Craig, thank you. And thank you to Matt for an amazing game. And thank you to Paul Fay for the work you do. And again, guys, if you have technical issues with the game, please, join the Pocket Pennant Run group. It's great on Facebook. And then you can, in Messenger, reach out to Paul Fay with bug reports, with anything that you see. He's the first line of defense. If you post everything, guys, in the Facebook post, it's going to clog everything up, and you're not going to get as fast a response. And it's easier for the developers, if you reach out to Paul first, because if he can't squash it, then he can pass it on to Craig, and they can jump right into work on it. But if you throw it on the Facebook page, it's all over. There's also, failing that, or Paul may say, okay, he'll get back to you. I can't get to this. I'm passing it to Craig, or use the support. You can submit a support ticket, and every time I've done that before I got to quote unquote meet Paul, Craig gets back to you pretty quickly, and this is while he's still working on the new game and working on whatever update. So just please go to Paul Fay first. And Paul asked me before I went on last night if I could remind people. So tonight, later, if I'm doing an action PC game or an out of the park game or whatever it is, I'm still gonna kind of remind everybody if you would please do that. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm supposed to be rolling a die. Geez, there we go. I forgot. There. dice are rolled. I think you'll like it, Joe. I really, really do. I don't know if you use reader software that Aaron Reed uses. So I don't know how you interface with these things, Joe. So hopefully it works for you. No. Oh, we got a 643 double play. Oh, damn. Paul Molitor. Paul Molitor. All right. So 643 double play, baby. There we go. Bam. And so we head to the top of the second inning, and we are scoreless. Lance Parrish leads it off here for the Tigers, batting in the fourth position. Larry Herndon waits on deck and rolling the bones. There we go. Okay, you. Oh, well. Okay, we already. Um, we'll just pretend that I'm dyslexic, and it's fine. So, guys, I want to show you something. While since we do have this little time delay, nice new addition that I love. This is new with this update. For guys that are like me, I really I like to catch things at a glance. So look at this. Outplays are done. You can see them in red. Scoring plays are done in green, and then in blue you get to see your base advancement. And I love the fact that is in here. It popped out at me yesterday when I was messing with this in preparation for last night's broadcast. I'm like, how cool is this? How cool is this? Because I know when I would do my own scoring, like, back in the day, going to a major league or minor league baseball game and all my scribbles and stuff like that, and trying to figure out, okay, I want to be able to read my score sheet later and say, yeah, this guy, walked and got a stolen base, and then there was a balk. You can imagine how that goes crazy, and then somebody hits a sac fly, and you got all this stuff going on in your box and your right on your score sheet. And so having everything color coded like that is such a nice touch. And these sneaky guys didn't even tell us it was coming. How about it? All right, we got us a ground ball to second. So routine 4-3 put out, and that will take care of Lance Parrish. So ground ball 4-3, boom. And there we go. So one out. And here's Larry Herndon now, 244 average back in 1985 with 12 home runs, rolling the bones. And there we go. Is there a score sheet option for inning by inning? So and Paul, right back quick, this is only on the board game version. So for this version, it's the at bat one. I know some guys like I used to be a big fan of inning by inning, David, but I've grown to love the at bat way of it now. So so there you go. So Paul says you can email him at treewizard@me.com. Okay, so do a 1 to 3 single. Okay, so all right, so let's roll the d20 and let's do this. Okay, and so what do we got here? We got an 8, and that's going to be a base hit. So base hit for Larry Herndon. And Herndon is aboard, and you can see that red. You're not gonna even want to steal with this guy. All right. So again, because we're just playing Strat, all you got to do is click bat. You just got to click batter up and these things. Now again, if there's I forget in Strat how you do things like hit and run or bunt, then you would use these buttons. But for the board game companion, you're going to be using these, but also just I'm going to show you guys. We're not going to do this obviously because we don't want Larry Herndon to try to steal. But if we did, and if you were rolling for a steal, if you go here to board game assistant, there's what can happen. Okay, he could be picked off, a rundown. Here's where you call for your pinch runner, um, right? All kinds of stuff here. You can steal, and there could be a throwing base error. He could be caught stealing, and he will steal. So unlike in Pocket Pennant Run, where you're rolling the dice for the chance, and Board Game Companion, you're just clicking what you need. Okay. All right, going to roll the bones here for Chet Lemon. I appreciate Midlife Crisis taking a little bit of time here with us. We're not going to do the whole 9 inning game. Check for lead. Schroeder's arm sucks. Herndon needs a four, um, a four on the. I guess you're talking about this die right here. So he's got a 13. Or you're talking. This is where I get lost. Or does he need? Do I have to roll the 2d6s, the red dice? So for a lead. Again, I forgive me. It's been ages since I played Strat. Okay, so I'm gonna roll the red dice for that. Okay, so he's got a 5, so he doesn't get a lead. Okay. All right, right. Didn't get a good lead. Gotcha. All right. So now we're gonna roll for Chet Lemon, who's the hitter. There we go. So here's another thing now is I'm sort of learning here as we're doing this experiment here with midlife crisis is that for something like rolling for leads or something like that, um, right? You got your dice, but you got this right in front of you. You could just bam, at least for that. So there's a sort of hybrid way. There's a way you could even use these dice, even just for defense checks, leads, whatever. Okay. A D20, double 1 to 6, single 7 to 20. All right, here we go. What is Chet Lemon gonna do? And he rolled a 16. So base hit, base hit, base hit. All right, 2 on, and here come the Tigers. All right, here's Alejandro Sanchez. He's DHing in this game today, batting in the number 7 slot. And Paul, you're the star. Doing all this beta testing, this game has been so rock solid. Oh, Mike, first and third? I'm sorry. Okay, let's just, yeah, there is a player here. Stop it. Yes, stop it. All right, so I'm sorry. I just need to advance the runner. I'm sorry. That was my mess up. There we go. So we're just going to just say he advanced on the throw. That was my mistake. We've got runners at first and third. Okay. My mistake, gentlemen. Because I didn't see the 2 asterisks there like an idiot. So my mistake. I could reset the whole at bat if I wanted to. But again, we're just illustrating. So what I should have done on that roll, then that was a 16. When I selected hit, I should have hit this 1B 2 asterisks, and then we would be in the proper position. So that was my mess up. Okay. All right. Rolling the dice here, and for Sanchez. And we'll just finish out this inning in midlife crisis. Thank you. So that way you can get back to the game you're actually rolling up. I don't want to take your day off to do this, but I appreciate you showing how this can be done and how it does work, and it works seamlessly. It was me making the mistake, not the game. Okay, a single to center, so Lemon may go to third. Okay, so for that one, we're going to select a hit. All right, and this is going to be so when you say he may go to third, this is where we're going to. Okay, so let's just do. I think how we would do this, because again, I'm not remembering too well. So we're not. This is not going to be when you say he may go to third. We're going to do a check on that, right? So in that case, what I probably want to do, okay, 1 to 16, he's going. Brewers will elect to let him go. Okay, so 2 ways that we could do this, right? So we're going to have the runners advance a base on this base hit. We know that, okay? So we're going to do that, okay? So we're going to keep the batter at first. Boom. All right, and a run scored. Okay, now we got Chet Lemon, and 1 to 16. We're going to see if we're going to advance Chet Lemon on a 1 to 16, and current batter is the last batter. I've got to do batter up. I'm just going to roll this, and it is a 16, so he's going to advance on the hit, right? So I'm going to go to board game assistant, and I'm going to put advanced runner, I think advanced runner hit. So there we go. So now we're caught up. Runners on first and third, and we just continue. This is so Barbaro Garby is up there. I don't know if we're rolling for any initiatives here. So what do we got here at first? So Alejandro Sanchez on first. So no speed to speak of here in the base paths. But your strat cards may say differently. So maybe that's something else I need to point out. Looking at these ratings, the color coding, just so you guys aren't confused, these are not strat ratings. So if you're playing strat or APA or whatever, ignore these ratings, okay? Or ignore these colors, okay? Because we're just using this as a strat interface, okay? And dice are rolled here for Garbe. So um, strat may have these guys rated differently in terms of speed. Being held on because he can steal, but has a good lead roll. Okay. Okay, so we rolled for Garbe. And we'll see what we got coming up here for midlife crisis. And this little just it's, oh, by the way, it's 2-0 Tigers. So you guys, it's going to go much easier when you're playing this and you know your strat rules. I mean, like, so midlife crisis is like, okay, this is what's going to happen on this and this and this, and so because I don't remember the game. Okay, so we have a range check. Okay, so just roll them again. Okay, bam, I'm gonna roll everything again. All right. So again, you guys that play strat, you would know what you're hitting. So if you're just doing a check on this die over here on the D20, you're going to click all the dice. We're just going to look at the D20. And then here's the two D6s. And I don't know what the single die, whatever it does in strat, I get is whatever it does. I have no idea. Anyhow, the rolled again. Shit, I'm going to have to go buy Stratomatic baseball now just to do this the right way. or, else, or else I'm going to have to start paying Midlife Crisis to, okay, man, we're going to do a strat game. We'll do it on StreamYard so we can do it like in real time. But anyhow, little bit of Monday afternoon madness for you guys. Shallow fly ball. So the runners hold. Okay, so fly ball to center. And boom. And this is just going to be your basic F8, but no tag. No tag. So just boom. All right. So we're 2 outs, batter up, and it's going to be Tom Brookins. Let's roll the bones here. Don't do it, says Baseball Demos. Don't do it. I'd go broke. So it's like, okay, guys, I'm going to buy season ticket. I'm going to set up a webcam. I'm going to buy season ticket, Strat, APA. I'm going to find an old copy of Status Pro Baseball, and I'm going to get inside pitch and have to watch you and Robert play the damn game so I know what I'm doing. All right, 2 down here. Did I roll for Brookins? I think I did. Paul says it's so cool to see you guys getting involved. And struck him out. There we go. All right, and that's it. So we go to the bottom of the second inning, and that will stop because again, I don't want to be taking up Midlife Crisis's time today to roll up his own games. So apart from Beatles Eternally's couple idiotic mistakes and forgetting how to play strat, you saw that this works really well, and this was not the most ideal conditions. So imagine using this game to do your season replays and then allowing it to play out all the other games for you, tracking all the stats so you don't just have to just get fake scores or whatever, or scores that are based on some algorithm, but you actually want to see in your season replay. Okay, I'm at the All-Star break. Who's leading in home runs? Who's batting average? Uh, ERA, OPS, whatever. This fills in what the board games can't do, right? Unless you're a really wealthy person and can buy a robot that can just roll your dice all day for you. And why would you when this is free? It's cool. He says, we'll keep rolling while you listen, but really like the interface. Plus, it has the strat shortcuts on the pop up. Very nice. Yeah, really, really does. Do we have somebody here who plays APA or another game that wants to do this for a couple minutes? Maybe do it for half inning. for one of the other or any game that you have. I don't care. Oh, absolutely, Paul. This is awesome. Um, let's just we'll muck about here. Let's pretend we're just playing some game. I don't know what. All right. So what do we got? Ted Simmons, and I'm rolling the dice off camera. There you go. Actually, I have a thing here where I can hold on. Let's get. Should we get really? Let's get immersive here. I have to find a magic effect here to do it. I actually have a thing called this is really amazing dice effect that has like these scary, amazing visual vanishes, but it's also just rolling dice. Ah, screw it. Doing Dragon Cards Dice to the PC area, so no go through. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. All right. Um, yeah. So it works nicely. It works nicely, and mea culpa for not knowing all of these things. So just to wrap up, as we start to slow it down, I can't do this during the game, of course, but I could. I wish I had shown you. So purely in pocket run, pennant run baseball, these ratings, even though I have strat selected, these ratings are for pocket pennant run baseball. So none of this exists. You can have the players there. It's like, oh, okay, I can see the players and the logos, which are damned awesome. But these are the cards for pocket pennant run. But I think that Craig has really done an amazing job here covering everything. Okay. You can play anywhere as all touchscreen. Oh, that's really cool. So testing. So let me ask you though, Paul, because I thought this is a native Windows app. So what are you using to? Um, oh, you're going to go to sleep. I'll ask you another time because you're way over there in Cyprus. So I'll shoot you a message in Facebook with my question about playing this on other platforms because I thought this was just Windows native. So, guys, this was a rare treat today to have both the software developer, one of the co-developers again, Craig Harris on here, as well as Paul Fay, who's the chief play tester for this game, um, and this amazing software. I mean, because let's face it, what are you? The beta testing for the physical game was right, always had to be done in figuring all this kind of stuff out. Um, but these three guys doing it great, and you know what? Paul doesn't get a penny for doing what he's doing, and he is again doing all the bug crushing that he can do, reproducing errors and stuff. So if you're enjoying this game, not only to thank Craig and Matt, but also Paul for his work and just volunteering to do this. Okay, so yeah, so you can use a Windows emulator. Okay, that works. And Windows emulators are pretty easy to use. So Mac users, you can try this on Wine. It should work in Wine. There's nothing really demanding about this, and I've seen some pretty demanding games you can play in Wine, so you should be fine with this as long as you're comfortable using it. I'm not a Mac user, so I couldn't tell you. I know there are Windows emulators for Linux systems as well, so you're not, but this is not native Android application or anything like that. Um, So if you got a Chromebook, you probably can't play it on a Chromebook unless there's a way to emulate a Windows app on Chromebook. So it really does require a PC. But a potato could run this thing, guys. So if you really wanted to, you could pick up. So what I did for Baseball for Windows is I still have the Fan Park Encyclopedia, and I have an older version of Baseball for Windows that I did for using the Fan Park Encyclopedia import, and then migrated them into version 5.75. And I didn't want to run a virtual machine in either of my newer PCs that I wanted to do. So on eBay, I found a $98 little 13-inch laptop, 13-inch screen laptop, or whatever it is. And it's a Windows Vista machine, and I'm running an XP virtual machine inside that, and that's how I was able to do all that stuff with Baseball for Windows. So you know, if you want to play this game and you're a Mac person but you want it, you can pick up these old PCs on the cheap. Go to your local computer store. They've always got old laptops and stuff like that people don't want anymore. This literally will run on a potato. There's no RTX graphics needed for this or anything like that. So, I don't think there's any other questions I can answer for you guys that'd be really, really in depth. Somebody did ask last night, will it track stats in the World Series? Absolutely, it will. So I want to answer that question visually before we get out of here. Okay, so um, we'll just pick a year. We'll just pick up a saved season here. Oops, yep, that's my fault. Blah, I keep forgetting to select the season. So if we were doing 20 or I don't know 2007, load it. Okay, so if I go all the way down to the World Series, and I could have just clicked October. Okay, but if I wanted to just do this, okay, um, I could just highlight the games. So the World Series right here, just boom and boom. So if I ran a box score sim right now in a full sim, it will track the stats for those games. All right. Because the game is not going to, because you're doing a replay, it's not going to look at these games because these weren't played. So if you just wanted to jump into a World Series and just do it like that, you want to do the League Championship Series, same things, Division Series, wild card games, they're all in here, right? So this will track stats. Just make sure that when you do the box score sim, you do full game sim. That's really important. If you do quick sim, and it will remind you, but you're not going to get stats. So right there's a way to do a World Series and track the stats just for the World Series. Or each game that you play, it will track those stats. Just after you play those games, you click Show Stats, and you can see how this did in comparison to the actual 2000, in this case, 2007 World Series. Regular season stats for remaining players to show their real life splits. Um, So, wow, got to get back into the game, I think, to answer that question. So I'll look at that midlife crisis. Sean says, found a bug, but no sense reporting it when I'm not using the latest version, which comes out tonight. It's a stat compiling error showing. It's a stat compiling error showing up the score sheet. Again, if you do see that, Sean, just shoot a message to Paul, either on Facebook or he. Let me see. I'll copy and paste. He did give you guys to his, and I'm actually what that probably wasn't the best thing to do to put your actual email up here in a chat. So if I can find it, I'm gonna copy it and paste it, and then you guys can. I can't find it. Damn it. Oh well. Let's hope Paul doesn't get a lot of spam mail. Be nice, people. Not you guys, but the people who might be. The hunked off Beatles fans are saying, "Well, there's nothing wrong with Beatles, or there's no Beatles in this." Nah, but they're my favorite band, so don't be honked off. All right. So regular season stats during gameplay, does it show their real life splits? I don't think so. Let's fire up a game and see real quick. Doesn't have to be any. It just can be any old whatever. Um, and let's just pick a game. I'm sorry. So again, let's go to 2000. Load a save season. And let's we can. So you're talking about when the stats. But you're saying during gameplay, okay? So not games that we've already played. So if we were doing Texas Rangers, so I'm confused because right now, so you're wondering if it shows their real splits. I don't think it does. I don't know that it shows their real season splits. I can't remember because I don't pay attention to that stuff. Let me look into it for you, midlife crisis. I'll let you know. Not right now, but I will. Well, guys, we peeked out at a nice little Monday afternoon. 19 folks hung out for a little bit. Can't thank Midlife Crisis enough for taking time out of his day off to roll an inning and a half of Strat for us, or giving us the results. And so thank you, man. And with that, I think we're going to shut it down. We're at 2 hours. How to create custom schedule. That is not in the coming update, Jeff, but it will be coming in the update after this one. And that's the one I'm excited for, Bud, because fellow pirate fan, and I hope you'll come back to the channel 2 more times. You get a wrench. So you're like pirate fan number 6 now in this community. So thank you, thank you. There's not a lot of us. This community is dominated by Red Sox fans. So we need more Bucko fans in here. There's 6 of us in the community now. So I'm gonna have to let Greg Gorecki know, and Doug Hunt, and a couple of the other Buccos fans that we have. We got somebody else as a Bucko fan in here now. So when you're pinch hitting or bringing a reliever, you can see how good the player. Oh, versus left versus right. I get duh. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Let's pick a game. I see what you mean now. All right. Braves Rockies. Let's play this game, and let's see if we can get some. We'll create a situation here. I'm really looking forward to the schedule generator anyhow, Jeff, to continue what my babble about this, because I love to do I love to create custom teams, all-time great franchises, create things where you have different teams, right? All different eras of baseball, whatever. And so that's the one thing it's missing right now. So the only way to do schedules in this game is either to play a season replay or use another piece of scheduling software and follow that. And there are a couple guys on the Pocket Pennant Run Facebook group that are doing that. But there will be a schedule generator. I've been grousing about that one for a while. So not this update that's coming out tonight, though. Nobody in Pittsburgh is working right now because they're on this stream. And we are bemoaning what our Buccos are doing. It's early days, though. I'm looking at it this way. Past couple seasons, we had a really hot, like last year, we were pretty going crazy into June. Year before that, we had that crazy April. It's like, oh my God, are we going to be in contention? Which, of course, you can't tell by April. So maybe this year we start heating up in May or June. So, oh, you're welcome, Jeff. You are absolutely welcome. All right, let's go into here. And again, we're just going to create a situation. Create a situation. Let me see. Batter data, do we have? So I don't, let me see. Bench. I don't see that, man. Lefty righty. But I don't want to speak out of turn. Let's put some dudes on here. And we're just going to pretend here that Greg Maddux, which would never happen. Greg Maddux is going to, walk a couple guys here, okay? We'll just pretend Greg Maddux is just having a bad day. All right. Batter up. Why not? The day Greg Maddux, gladly he doesn't know who I am or know who this channel is, because he'd kick my ass for this. Okay. Oh, Greg Maddux giving up another one, but this time, okay, let's have Larry Walker, and we'll let Larry Walker just hit a single. Okay. Now, of course, we're going to do something really stupid here. Would we pinch hit for Jeff Trillo? Of course, we're not going to pinch hit for him, but in this one we will. So, if I'm looking here, no. So, just to answer the question, you don't get to see lefty-righty splits. So, would that be something nice to have? Yeah, it would be something nice to have. Hopefully that might be within the scope of the project, because you do want to know how, because I know in action PC baseball, that pitcher batter analysis tool is the most amazing thing in any baseball sim I've seen, in terms of making those types of managerial decisions. Because let's face it, you're not going to know everybody, and I don't care whether you play old time dead ball baseball like me, but let's say you're playing in the 1960s. Could you tell me, who's going to be off the 1963 White Sox, who you're going to pinch hit, who you're going to use as a pinch hitter against a righty in a crucial situation. So that would be nice to have something to pass on to Craig if that is something planned down the line to show lefty righty splits in a game. So there. Took me my usual 10 minutes of rambling to answer a simple question, but I didn't want to be wrong about this. So um, there we go, guys. That is pretty much all. At least the data you get to is all in one screen, and you can see if a batter's lefty or righty, and same with pitcher. So yeah, right, not a deal breaker, says midlife crisis. And I mean, the other thing too that I do like how whether you're playing basic game or not. Now, if you want to, if you really want it, I mean, do you have to really follow the left right split rule? I mean, it's your game. Play it the way you want. If I have a great pitcher up there, a great pitcher, it's not going to matter. I mean, Walter Johnson and Rube Waddell and Bob Gibson and Christy Matthews and Steve Carlton and Nolan Ryan, they were mowing people down and didn't give a shit what handedness of a batter they were. So it's just like our Red Sox fans says so many times, you know what? Yeah, he does. He'll make up certain house rules. Um, Frequently, if I'm playing dead ball baseball in this game, I completely ignore lefty righty stuff. It's in here, but I ignore it. I figure I got Mathewson on the mound. Somebody's good enough, or I got Walter Johnson on the mound, and you're good enough to get a hit off of Walter Johnson. I'm not going to penalize you for handedness. That wasn't a big thing in the dead ball era. If I'm playing modern baseball, then I do give this a lot more credence. But yeah, I love that everything is so contained in this little ecosystem here. Um, and a great quick research tool it is too. And Jeff, you were asking about custom schedules, and I'm going to hope, because I've been focusing a lot on the season replay stuff, that you do know that this is the area where you can create your own teams. You can add teams. So let's say that you get that schedule generator, you could start adding teams into a league and play them against each other and do whatever. This is where all that kind of magic happens. Um, so we are done. We are done. We are done. We are done. Um, we went 2 hours and 11 minutes. Was such a fun broadcast to do because of all you guys, what all the work we did. Thank you again to Craig Harris, to Paul Fay, and to Matt McKeever, who's not here today but was here last night. Thanks to the folks that are coming in, checking us out. Thanks to the new members of the family, and hope you guys will all come back. We play all kinds of digital baseball on here, and yeah, so many of you to thank, and I'll just thank everybody for coming in because we just went long. Okay. Sean says we'll give him the closing comment. He says it's funny that they look at the app as the extra, and many would think this is the best part and where they would make their money in the future. That's an interesting point because the only way to get this incredible piece of software is you got to buy the game. And again, it's cheap. The game's inexpensive. It's not cheap. The components are very nice. There's nothing cheap about the game. Um, but as I said earlier, if this was the only thing and there was no physical game and they wanted $24.99 for this, I'd buy it. This would be a no-brainer to buy the Pocket Pennant Run Manager. The fact that it accompanies this incredible, neat little board game, cards and dice game that fits in the palm of your hand, and free updates. And I can't even imagine the work that goes on in here and what they've done to kind of bring this all together. So I will say to a lot of the other cards and dice games, maybe you could learn something from these guys. Learn something from these guys and look what they're doing. Okay, guys, until the next time, which hopefully will be this evening. I'll probably put up a poll. What game would you like to see? You want to see more Pocket Pennant Run baseball? Do you want to see the rare Diamond Mine game up here? Lance Hafner full count baseball. We're probably still a couple weeks out from that update. I'm hoping I can get Dwayne Martz to join us for the release of Digital Diamond, but he's the Digital Diamond guru, and I wouldn't blame him if he just wants to do that on his own channel. So we got a lot of stuff coming up, and getting closer to the next Ned McGreevy League, getting closer to it in Out of the Park Baseball 26. All right, guys. Happy Monday. Happy baseball day. May your team win as long as they're not playing the Pirates. Till next time, see you around the batting cage, guys. All right. Bye bye.